Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids. Math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with the Big Bang.
The Big Bang Theory was developed by Father Georges Lemaitre, a Catholic priest in Belgium. So, the first thing we have to remind people is that as Catholics, we are not creationists. The first thing we have to remind people is that as Catholics, we are not creationists. The problem of a fundamentalist is not that they're right or that they're wrong, but that they think they know the answer.
I'm going to go through some of the back pages here in the Secret History of the Oxford Movement by Walter Walsh. I have another video on this book. 1899. This is the 5th edition. So this is going to be on the Catholic Church. And we're going to read from What the Ritualists Teach on page 375. So right here in the Church Review, I'll hold this up closer. In the Church Review, October 8th, 1864, page 989. The Catholic Church is always, in time as well as in degree, before the Bible. Say the Church did not give us the Bible that we might each take his own religion from it. We take our religion from the Church, which is living. Then we prove it, if we will, from the Holy Bible. That's from St. Andrew Worthing Parish Magazine, December 1893, page 3. Our blessed Lord did not intend any written document to be the basis of the faith he founded. Christ Church, Doncaster Parish Magazine, March 1895. And all over these pages, under the appendix of a titled section, What the Ritualists Teach, you can just see how the Church sets itself above the Bible and actually hammers on the Bible. They say no one but a Catholic can safely read the Bible. That's interesting. The Catholic Church is just full of lies. It's just ridiculous how much they have to lie on top of lie on top of lie just to be able to keep propped up their nonsense system of pagan witchcraft, Satanism, all of it.
The problem of a fundamentalist is not that they're right or that they're wrong, but that they think they know the answer.
Georges Lemaitre had a degree from Louvain, another degree from MIT, was the kind of guy who could read Einstein's equations like you might be able to read a poem, and into those equations read the possibility not only that the universe could be expanding, but that if it was expanding, it may have started from a primeval atom, as he referred to it. This expansion was highly unpopular with other people of his era. In particular, Fred Hoyle made fun of it on the BBC by referring to it as that Big Bang Theory. But with this theory and the observations that Lemaitre predicted and suggested of the farther away you look, the faster away the galaxies go because it's all coming from one point, we are now able to not only come up with theories for the beginning of the universe, but testable theories. Theories that you can test by looking at radiation from the beginning of the universe, by looking at how galaxies that are very far away are different from galaxies that are close to us. You can actually see the evolution happening. So much for the Church being anti-science. Astrophysics depends on the role of a couple of priests doing the science.
Even before the pandemic, feeding the world's hungry and helping children in need were enormous tasks. Now, the coronavirus made those groups even more vulnerable. Global conflicts have driven millions from their homes, spreading illness and famine in their wake, and impoverished nations are finding themselves at the mercy of wealthy ones as the world works to find its way out of the pandemic. Joining me now are two heads of United Nations agencies who dedicate their work to addressing those challenges. David Beasley is the Executive Director of the World Food Program, and Henrietta Fore is the Executive Director of UNICEF, the UN's Children's Fund. Welcome to you both, and thank you for making the time. David Beasley, I want to start with you because when we last spoke, you were warning that the number of people on the brink of starvation worldwide had risen to 270 million during the pandemic. You were calling on the world's wealthiest, on the billionaires, to step up, to show that they care. What has happened since then? Has it gotten any better or just worse?
Well, it's gotten worse in so many different ways. And, you know, the bad news is the number of people, including children, as Henrietta can so eloquently state, the number that is rising on the brink of starvation has risen from 135 million to 270 million people. And the sad fact is there's $400 trillion worth of wealth. And just in the past many months, I mean, literally during the pandemic, billionaires made $5.2 billion in increased wealth per day. And all we are asking for is $5 billion to avert famine around the world. And I don't think that's too much to ask.
The first thing we have to remind people is that as Catholics, we are not creationists. Not creationists.
Look what he says. The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of men who suppress the truth by their wickedness. Since what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse. Just go outside and look around, and that reveals the glory of God. You cannot get an artistic creation without an artist. Don't talk about evolution and a Big Bang theory. You cannot get artistic colors like this, intricate detail in the mountains and the rivers and streams and the oceans of the world, the minute microorganisms that live here, from the amoeba up to things like elephants and giraffes and eagles and birds and robins and canaries and all this intricate stuff all around us. You can't get this kind of creation without a creator. That's like somebody taking wood, sinks, shelves, cabinets, stairs, carpet, wood, hardwood floors and all that, and dumping it on a lot on Monday, and on Tuesday you come back and there's a house standing there finished and fully furnished. What kind of sense that makes? It's like you taking all the stuff that will make a house, just taking it and dumping it on an open field. 24 hours later you come back, it's a fully furnished house with plumbing, electrical wiring, everything, cable TV, everything in it, intricately working, and all you did was dump the raw material on a lot. That's what the Big Bang theory is saying. All this elaborate design just came from a Big Bang in the universe. That's man's reprobate mind not wanting to honor God. That's why he says, what can be made known of him is plainly seen by that which is made. You cannot say there's not a God, because creation is yelling at you that there is a God. Sun, moon, stars, oxygen here. Everything down here yells at you, there's a God, there is a God, there is a God.